This is Jan Fursdon of Fursdon House, and this is my first video ever, so I apologize in advance. Hopefully it won't be too bad. But what I'd like to do is share a journal with you today. It is for sale in my Etsy shop, and I'll put a link for that below for those of you who may be interested. So let's get started. The journal itself measures 6 1/4 inches by 9 inches. It is spiral bound. It has 52 pages in it, plus additional cards, journaling tags, and free-floating pages, so there's plenty of journaling space. It has a handmade tassel on the side, made of ribbon, lace, and beads, and that is completely removable. What I like to do is remove it when I'm journaling, and then when I've filled up the journal, I put the tassel back on and store it on my bookshelf so that it looks beautiful and draws the eye. It's just, they're so pretty. The cover itself is made from an original cabinet card, and the title of the book is Miss Ella Burton. And there's some rhinestone bling, if you will, a little bit of lace underneath the cabinet card. The reverse I've left undecorated, other than with just the scrapbook paper. The closure is made from organza ribbon, and some of the pages are covered in lace on the sides, and there are about 4 charms in there, which I'll show you in a little bit and get a better view of those. So let's open up the journal here, make sure we're in focus. There we go. Okay, on the inside cover is artwork by Edith Holden, one of my favorite artists. I just love all of her work. And on this page there's a pocket. We have journal tag, journal card rather. There we go. A little bit of antique lace on the top, a smaller card with a little fabric flower there, crocheted lace. And then on this card I've stamped the word "This book belongs to," so you can personalize the journal. Okay, next page we have some fabric lace, fabric flowers, and then another journal tag. Here we have in this little pocket 2 little tickets rather. I've put in 2 journaling prompts. One says special date and the other one says best friend, and those are both blank on the reverse so that you can fill those in. Little fabric flower trim. This is one of the charms I spoke about earlier. This one is just silver beads. And here is a vintage belt buckle with some rhinestone. We have here a little flip out. It comes down like so, and that's tea stained paper that you can have more journaling space with. A little fabric flower on the outside. Here we have a cutout from the Tim Holtz collection. All of the picture cutouts throughout the album are from the Tim Holtz collection. More journaling space, fabric flower. I've also done stamping throughout, and I've also colored it with pencils and what have you. Here we have a tuck spot that includes an illustration from a book that was printed back in the 1930s. And below it says, "Memory is a traveler who acknowledges no barriers." Behind that I've included an antique photograph. This is the original photograph from 1929. That was I didn't write that down there. That was on there when I purchased it. It's a beach scene in New Jersey, and this is a father with his child on the beach. Then on the reverse, and I've left it uncovered here, it says Atlantic Highlands, New Jersey, 1929. And I've just attached a tea-stained page for your journaling. Okay. There we go. More journaling space. Here we have 2 charms. One is just beads, and one is a little key. And on the reverse, we have antique lace that I've attached to the side. And on here I have taken scrapbook paper and just cut out the design and then stitched it on the base to form a pocket. And I have 2 journal cards. Those here. Paper flowers with a button. Again, more journaling space. Stamping and some bits of fabric that I'm using on current projects. Here I've included a paper flower with a fabric center. This bit came from an antique napkin that I just cut out and stamped the word Imagine on. Here we have decorative tiling. On the reverse we have a belly band made of fabric lace rather, and 2 journaling cards, journaling tags. I intermix the 2. Okay. These are journaling tags. This is a journal card. And there's the reverse of that. And it just has a little fabric flower on the crocheted trim. And I've stamped the word thoughts on there in that pocket. More stamping and coloring. More journal tags. Okay. And on the reverse, I've included an envelope. I've left this empty for you to put your own ephemera in there. Just tack it back here. A little bit of antique lace and a rhinestone bit of bling. More Tim Holtz photographs. These are also cutouts from the Tim Holtz Botanical Collection. More antique lace attached to the sides, and here is another little charm. This one is a crown. Here we have a side pocket that includes artwork by Edith Holden. It says Fruit of the Hawthorn. And on the reverse I've included tea-stained paper, which you can journal on, of course. I just love her artwork. Put that back there. On this side, and also on the reverse, they're identical. The doilies have been tea-stained, and under each doily is a sheet of handmade paper, which I did not hand make myself. I won't take that credit, but I did distress it, make it look old. And again, that's the same on the reverse. There. Some more stamping and coloring. Here we have some lace that belonged to an apron that my grandmother gave me years and years ago. She likes to put things to use, so I've put it to use because it no longer makes an apron. Here we have journaling cards, if you will, smaller ones. There's the reverse. They're all blank on the reverse. My best friend asked me, she said, what do you put in these small little areas? And I told her, I said, what I like to do is to either include favorite Bible verses or maybe quotes that mean a particular special thing to me. So that's what I use them for. You might just put down special dates, special thoughts or anything, but because they are small, again, it's a perfect place for quotations and Bible verses or things of that nature. More stamping here, coloring. Here we have a pocket that's made from coffee dyed paper. And here is a reproduction. It says Marlborough, bought of J. Crook, grocer, tea dealer, and cheesemonger. And it gives you prices of and amounts of raisins, currants, sugar, allspice, or lard, pepper, mustard, tea. And there's the reverse. We have changed just a little bit since this was the habit. Here I've included an original blank check, what we've always wanted. This one's a little old though. It's from the 1930s, and it's from the First National Bank of Omaha, Nebraska. So you can put your own name there, and you can make it out for any amount you would like, as long as you don't get too hung up on someone cashing it for you. You should be okay, but it'll look great. Here we have a page from a diary. Here we have a page that includes gold bond stamps. I don't know if any of you have ever collected those, or perhaps your parents did. My mother did. She collected green stamps. And you would purchase something from the grocery store, and they would give you stamps with your receipt, and then you would take the stamps, put them in these little booklets, and redeem the stamps for objects, artwork or dishes or whatever. These are 2 bingo sheets, and here we have some vintage ledger paper. Again, perfect for journaling, putting down any number of bits of information that you have. More stamping, another journal tag. Here we have a journal, a post office tag. It says Dodge, Wisconsin. This is an original, by the way. It says, I think it's Trempealeau County. I could be dead wrong with that, but below it says Winona, Minnesota, but then they crossed through that and put La Crosse, SC. So I suppose that means South Carolina. I don't know how they use these cards, but this is an original and it's really neat. It's probably from the 1950s, is my understanding. Just a little neat piece of history there. Another journal tag. And here we have a replica of a photograph from, again, the Tim Holtz collection. We call these instant ancestors. More journaling space. Antique lace that I've attached here. Botanical print from Tim Holtz. This is a little fold out that I put just a sticker of flowers on there, and then tea stained the paper and distressed it. And I've just put a journaling prompt here of happy memory. Another tag. And here we have a CD sleeve that I have tea stained, or coffee stained rather, I'm sorry. And inside you'll see 2 orchids. They are drying. They are actual orchids. They are not permanently attached in there. They are loose. So if you'd like to remove them and put something else in there, you're perfectly welcome to. I just thought it was a nice way to highlight how beautiful they are. And on this page we have a crucifix with some fabric lace. And here are 2 dictionary pages. The dictionary is Webster's, and it was printed in 1943. This came from a dictionary my father gave me. And it's very fragile, but it's, again, a nice piece of history. I'm afraid we don't use dictionaries much anymore. We either Google it or use spell check. And I prefer Googling and dictionaries. Spell check does not always get it correctly. Here on this page we have an original postcard. It says Mackinac from the Fort. It was written in 1901, just a few years ago. Again, this is the original, and it includes the 1-cent stamp. And it came from Mackinac, Michigan, Mackinac Island, Michigan. It was mailed on August 6th at 8 p.m., 1901. And it was going to Louisville, Kentucky, and it arrived there on August 8th. At 6:30 a.m. 1901. There we go, and it was to the Right Reverend Father Zabler, I believe is how he pronounces it, or I assume Z-A-B-L-E-R. So that's a really neat piece. And again, this is the original that you'll be receiving. On this page we have a bag that I've attached, sewed it in with some rhinestone bling and a picture of a lady. I think that's French, yes, from Paris, a theater in Paris. And inside I've put another vintage postcard. This one has not been completed, but it is of the Hotel de Soto in New Orleans, Louisiana. And I've just attached a little bit of antique lace at the top, sort of a little pull tab there. Here we have another pocket that I've cut out from scrapbook paper and just sewed it in here with 2 journal tags. And the back of the book we have a library card and holder I've just stamped it there and did some coloring. And this is a book that I ordered over the internet. It is called The Tale of Hilltop Farm by Susan Wittig Albert. And for those of you who may be familiar with it, Hilltop Farm is where Beatrix Potter lived. And Beatrix Potter is the lady who created Peter Rabbit. It's a lovely little book, and I thought I wanted to share that with you. And I've just made a journaling space on the reverse and stamped in the word Hilltop. Here we have fabric trim. And inside this pocket I just have 4 sheets, small sheets that have been stained and distressed. There's a stamp on the top one. And that's just for anything you might like to put in there. So that is it for this journal. I appreciate your patience, and I really would appreciate it if you would give me any suggestions or comments below. Any way you think I can make this a little bit better, even a lot better. I'm certainly willing to try that. Maybe I can get better with making bows on camera. But again, thank you very much. I appreciate your time, and again, I'll put all those links below. Take care and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.